Live at last! Welcome back, blobs and globs. Dr. Christian von Fromm here, hosting Kits from the Crypt in my Crypt of Clutter, Crypt of Crap. It's people's choice on which one I go with. No, it's my channel. It's my choice in the end. Why let myself be governed by others? Yeah. Anyway, none of that was prepared because I didn't prepare anything to say. This is just a continuance. Makes it sound like some sort of commuted sentence. A continuation of the skulls that I was painting as little gifts in my last live stream. I wanted to give them time to kind of let some ideas marinate, look at what I was seeing and what I wanted to change about it. And I had a wonderful revelation. Ink. This is what's been missing on these. I love doing washes of ink. It just gives a little bit of texture, and it's thin enough to get into all those crevices. So I'm excited to move on over to that. We also have, as I finish up these 5 pieces from last time, 2 fresh pieces that will be gifts for other friends. One friend in particular is a lifelong fan of Jim Henson, so this is one of the slave podlings from Dark Crystal wearing a Santa hat to go on your refrigerator. And this one, it sure looks to me like a face hugger hatching out of an egg. But I don't know if it's an original design. I sure do like it. It looks like it's got claws in there, as in like nails, which I don't think face huggers have. But either way, it looks very H.R. Geiger influenced. And so I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this one. I think I want to paint it up such that it could be interpreted as being a face hugger or something from the Alien universe. But just get it abstract enough. Somebody's dragging something. Hang on. There we go. Yeah, somebody just grinds this sledgehammer along the pavement every few minutes, and I've never been able to track them down, which is weird because it's just such a small space in here. Anyway, this one, I think I want to paint it abstractly enough that it could be its own thing, or it could be interpreted as an alien entry. So why don't we move on over back to our desk cam? There we are. Also, some of our viewers have commented that they like all the little guys that are kind of peppered throughout. So keep your eyes peeled. There's going to be some little Easter eggs. I think it was compared to an I Spy book, and I've definitely identified that as my aesthetic. I don't like to keep a clean workspace, and it's a very maximalist type of look. And it keeps me happy and sane. Let's paint some tiny skulls. So let's see. Here's a nice blue ink. Looks like it needs to be mixed up a little. And we got Mr. Green Jeans here. So he was named on the last stream. And I was having a lot of issues with the blue base color. I mean, I could potentially completely mess this one up again in a matter of seconds. But I'm excited to experiment here. Let's find a good brush with which to dip ink in this man's eye sockets. Eye sockets. Eye sockets. It's a good voice exercise. Okay, don't knock over your wash tray, or wash basin as I should call it. Yeah, I can see some spots where I missed with the paint. It sure is lighter than I was kind of envisioning, but let's see. You know, I'm thinking about this little keychain guy where I gave him some fluorescent snot running down his lip and his chin. Let's get gross. Let's give Mr. Green Jeans some blue snot. It's going to go right in there. And it's not going to come out the other side because he's going to drink it. He's just going to swallow it. Just like the guy in Raiders from the Lost Ark when the fly crawls right in his mouth. You know about that? Paul Freeman, the actor who played Belloc. It's a scene, it's the one where Indiana Jones interrupts the procession with the Ark at Bazooka Point. Yeah, let's have some more of this blue slime kind of coming out of his jaw. Why not, right? It's not really dark as I was envisioning, so it's not great for bringing out some layers, or rather, bringing some contrast to the shadows. But I do like this color with this palette. Let's get a little more neon blue mucus. Blue mucus. I don't know the words. Anybody here yet? Happy New Year! Go for it painting. Good to have you back. Yes, it is 4 p.m. out here on East Coast time as we wait to ring out this cursed year. Yeah, let's get a little more blue ink in those eye sockets. The things I say on the internet. Oh, heck. Go nuts. Get some of it in the recesses up here on the brow. Yeah. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. No plans in mind. This is how it was on my last stream. These are all just original designs from Mike Swistek at Cthulhu Gizzard Customs. Cthulhu, I don't know. It's not meant to be pronounced by the human tongue, okay? So cut me some slack. But Cthulhu Gizzard Customs, one word. He's got a YouTube channel. I highly recommend checking him out. Highly recommend checking out his Etsy store. I think I know I put it in the description of my last stream, and I think I copied and pasted it into this one. All of these pieces were sculpted by Mike, and he loves to do these relief busts, which make for great fridge magnets, or he makes larger ones that you can mount on a plaque, which I've done many times. They can be, I made a Christmas ornament a couple days before Christmas for my brother. That was the They Live alien wearing a Santa hat like this one. So yeah, he sells them painted or unpainted, and really nice guy, very talented sculptor and painter. And I highly recommend his stuff, especially if you're getting interested in this kind of work, but don't really have any experience. Look, you get some small pieces like these. And again, none of these are specific skulls to anything. I don't have to adhere to any kind of a reference. I can just pick out some fun colors that I want to see how they mix together. And you just mess around. And you give them to your friends and your loved ones. Oh, Edward, it seems at times that that's what you should do, but it's not. Anybody for that one? Little Diane Wiest reference in there. Do love Diane Wiest. Anytime her name shows up in a movie, it's like a little stamp of quality of like, all right, I'm in good hands with Diane Wiest. Lost Boys, Edward Scissorhands, Practical Magic, of course. Oh, that's my cat. You hear that grumbling? Yeah. Go for painting, if I recall correctly. Are you coming to us from Hungary? Is that what I saw? I'll bring out some of these green highlights. Yeah. Oh, look at him now. I was having so much trouble with this guy. He's beautiful. I am going to need to bring in some sort of dark wash. But I like the blue ink did not go according to plan. But I like what it's doing. I like that we made him a little bit goopy. Let's let him sit for a little while. I want to go back into, this was Dr. Valentine. Came up with silly little names during last session. And I realized we kind of lost, I mean, the wash got a little sloppy because I was getting carried away, this purple wash here. Which is still kind of symmetrical, but it doesn't look right to me. And we lost our gradient effect where I wanted this face to get lighter in value as it went down. So we're going to bring some of that back. This is the hydrangea pink I was using, but we had another just kind of classic bog standard neutral pink. Where did it go? I know I used it last time. I don't think I would have put it back. Me putting something back where it belongs. Patently absurd. Let's see. There it is. Again, I just live in an I Spy book. It's my aesthetic, and it is my organizational system. Incidentally, I can only think in rhyme. But I'll let that be my burden. I won't share it with you good people. All right, let's get our dry brush. Looks like I didn't clean this one off too well. You see all that paint dust coming out? Children, don't do what I have done. I couldn't walk, and I try to run. I don't know why I burst into one of the most depressing John Lennon songs, but children, don't do what I just did. Take care of your brushes. Clean them, wash them, moisturize them, sing them to sleep, tuck them in, show them you care. Make sure they get enough protein and fiber in their diets. You stick to that, and one day these brushes will be painting skyscrapers. You know how you paint skyscrapers? Okay. A little more. And again, I'm holding them upside down because I just want this bright value to be coming up in this direction, almost like to give like a faux lighting effect. So I'm not going to rinse the brush off just yet. I'm going to do the same thing with hydrangea pink, a lighter pink, close to an off-white pink. So mixing it on our little paper towel palette here. Drying it up where we laid in the other pink, which it's got some, what is it called? Oh, taffeta pink. That is more memorable than I give it credit for. I guess my memory is just not that good. Taffeta pink. Okay. A little bit of the bridge of the nose, a little bit the edge of the eye sockets. There. All right, that's something. Just want to get a little bit of the detail. See, just the gentlest of passes to pick up these kind of all the line work. And Mike is great with line work, like the texture of these little guys that he sculpts. It can get really gnarly, and it's so cool. And it's so much to work with. All right. So now, having done that, we can clean that brush. And I'll have some of my drinking water, which I put in a vessel that doesn't remotely resemble my paint water, so that we don't run that risk today anyway. And just a reminder, if you haven't drank water lately, I suggest you go do so. especially if you're planning on doing a lot of drinking of grown-up water tonight. All right, let's go. We brought in the bright blue ink on Mr. Green Jeans. Dusty old bones full of green dust. Let's take this fluorescent blue, which is kind of like more of a baby blue than I pictured for neon, but let's see. That was way too much paint, but that's okay. And I just want to bring some blue into the dome here. Sorry, I trail off on those pregnant pauses. I'm trying to be better at it. Although it does come in handy when you consider the secret of good comedy. You all know what that is, right? The secret to good comedy. Was I telling a joke? Timing, yes. Completely forgot. All right. Yes, I like those blue accents that we brought in there. Now, let's look at our inks. We've got, a magenta ink and this red ink. Let's start with the magenta. It's darker in value. I'm just going to put a few drops in my little palette here, because a little goes a long way on this stuff. I'm even going to water it down to thin it out and get more use out of it. Okay, so here we go. Happy New Year, Jim! Long time no see. Oh, look at that. See, I love playing with these inks. Let me just thin it out a little more and try to get as much of a tip on the brush, or a point on the tip of the brush, rather. Up! There, I've developed a pretty decent system of having backup lights. I'll take a pause in a second to start charging the one that just died. But no, I've got this great... I should find the link and put it in my descriptions. Really great light kit. It's been a terrific investment. LEDs that you can control through an app on your phone, proprietary app. And they're magnetic, and they can do all sorts of effects like cop car lights and strobing. And I've been using them for years now. You can see, like, in my Terminator Super Deformed video, the cop lights are coming from these. They're good at doing like a glowing, crackling fire effect. But in a little boiler room where I have very limited electrical supply, it's nice to have some rechargeable, reliable lights. Let's take a thinner brush here and use the magenta ink to get into the seams of the skull. See if we can, connect that. Yes, beautiful. There we go. All right, now I just want to thin this out some more. And I think I just want to work this magenta ink. Whoa, the heat is on. It's my boiler talking back at me. It's all right. I'm in its space. Let's see. A little too heavy on the ink right over here. So let's at least try to even things out. Yeah, I really like the color palette on this one. Again, that's how it got the name Dr. Valentine. It's a lot of pinks and purples and blues and reds. And again, for all these gruesome, creepy skulls, I'm trying to use my prettiest color palettes. It all looks very, very light on the paper towel. You'd think I'm painting Lisa Frank unicorns or something over here. So just working some of this thinned out ink into the lines and recesses. I'm not going all the way up because I want to keep this blue highlight, but look at that. Yeah, very pleased with this one. Smooth that out. I think I will, when that dries, come back with another dry brush pass just to bring out our highlights again. Yeah, let's try to just use up all that ink. And the ink has this kind of baked in gloss that doesn't quite look like the varnish effect. It always looks like stickier. So ink is very good, I found, for blood effects. Again, just brings a whole different texture than a watered down paint. This one is next. But first, I did want to bring up a little bit. Oh no, let's go to this yellow green. We did a little bit of a dry brush of a lighter green on the jaw of this guy here. So I want to bring a little bit of that out before we come in there with an ink wash. And we'll do our upside down trick. See, this is kind of transparent. So I don't know. Oh, no, that's coming through. Not exactly what I was picturing, but it's serviceable. And again, if it comes out too light or too green, we're about to go in with an ink wash, so we can dial that back as we please. There we go, there we go, there we go. Nice, all right. Now, I also was looking at this and it wasn't looking completely even. No, we're going to solve all our problems with ink. You just say that because you're heir to the fountain pen fortune. That's not true, and I'm not. Oh, slappy New Year, Shane Sheehy. And never too late to be late to the party. In fact, I've heard it can be quite fashionable. Kathy Happy NYE. Everybody's friends. It's great. Love it. Oh, yes. I wanted to take a break very briefly just to sort out my lighting situation. But in the meantime, for your entertainment, I know the question that has plagued mankind this year in these troubling times is who would win in a race? The Frankenstein monster or Superman? Well, we're going to find out. And they're off. Ah! Well, I don't really know what I should have expected otherwise. Superman won the race, and Frankenstein's creation just stared into the abyss, pondering his wretched existence. Did I bid thee, creator, from my clay to make me man? Right. Got one last backup light, so I should go and plug this whole operation in to charge those two. But I think we'll be okay. Oh boy, Superman still got a little steam. Okay, back to this one. And what do we have? This is our transparent burnt sienna. This is clearly the ink I have used the most, so I don't want to overdo it. This is this burnt sienna, transparent burnt sienna plus red ink in kind of an uneven mixture. The best blood effects. It's easy to splatter with a brush. It's good stuff for blood. It's a good day to be a bloodsman. Yes, Frankenstein, he just approached a cliff and just did the Caspar David Friedrich painting that was on all of the high school paperback copies of Frankenstein. You know the one? I didn't know that was a famous piece of art. I just thought that was an original piece that was done for Bantam Books or whoever was printing Frankenstein. Okay, so same kind of technique, but we're going in with that burnt sienna. Starting with those eye sockets. You want a nice sticky brown eye socket, I always say. Wisdom I picked up back in the first grade. Hang on, I see the words Frankenstein and low tier. Oh, and you should know, I have a big second monitor now in my periphery, so I can actually check on the chat now. So you can't just, make fun of me. This is YouTube comments, all right? There's no making fun of anybody. It's highly skilled and specialized. No. What Frankenstein are we talking? Because the Jacob Elordi Frankenstein, I think, could easily get work as a laborer back then. Look at what he did for the family on the farm in the forest as the what was he, the spirit of the forest. He wouldn't have any trouble working. Well, I guess all the villagers. I love when married couples argue in my YouTube chat. Oh, you haven't seen the Del Toro one, eh? I had that terrible feeling of I should love this. Why don't I? And I think it's I'm a huge fan of the Kenneth Branagh, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and this one seemed not different enough from that. I kept catching myself comparing it. It was doing things that seemed novel to people that haven't seen every Frankenstein movie. But I don't know. It just seemed like a lot of the same scenes felt more like a Tim Burton movie, oddly enough, than a Del Toro movie. There was some strangely placed humor, I thought. Or maybe I'm just weird. Oscar Isaac at one point makes a "your mama" joke. Oh, that's Star Wars. Well, in that case, it was totally appropriate to the source material. Sure. Oh, if we're talking about the abnormal criminal brain from Frankenstein, hang tight, gang. You mean like this? Things I just have right at hand. Miniature abnormal brains. Well, I guess you could say I had one of those for 35 years. Oh, we don't have our hexagonal fading YouTube lights on, our YouTuber lights. There we go. Okay. Oof. Have I started yet? What was I doing here? Well, let's get a little ink on this one. Maybe I'll go back to that magenta ink because that was serving us very well. Oh, it was serving. It's a rotten brain. Rotten, I tell you. Okay. Same deal. And because we're working with a whole different color palette on this piece, the ink doesn't look exactly the same. So I can rationalize my lazy move. But I only got so many inks. And this is the one that matches this color best. This is how I overthink everything, gang. Carrie's talking to the screen. I mean, maybe as a YouTube creator, it's incumbent upon me to supply all my followers with walkie-talkies so they can beam right into my workspace while I'm live streaming. I can't possibly envision that coming around to bite me in the rear end. Yeah. You know what? I'm not going to do the whole eye socket, just the deepest parts on this one. I just like how that magenta is popping there. You see that? Yeah. All right. I know I said this last time, but I think this guy is done. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Now I just don't know how I want to seal this guy, because if he's going to be used practically as a keychain, that paint's going to chip. And I put a lot of hard work into this. So it might do better to use him as a zipper pull or something. Maybe I won't give this one away, but I'll figure it out. I'll figure out something. Yeah, how do you like that? Yes, Carrie's just formulating her thoughts, Shane. There's our guy. Look at that glow snot. Woo! Oh, gotta get some ink underneath the chain of the keychain. The keychain chain. Give me that keychain chain. Not the cheese, Milo. Okay, that's good. That's good. Oh, let's we still got some burnt sienna ink in the tray, so let's jump in to our pumpkin boy here. And it's a nice like reddish orangish brown, so it lends itself to the pumpkin color palette here. I know one kind of miniature abnormal brain you could probably still find out there, Carrie. Something I used to sell when I worked at a comic shop. I was unloading shipments on New Comics Day, and there is this black box labeled Jumping Brain. And I said, Pete, the owner, Pete, what's the Jumping Brain? He says, oh, open it. And I open it up, and it's a sculpture just out of, I think, black plastic or glow-in-the-dark plastic. You had your choice. Of a brain with 4 frogs' legs coming out of it. Not what I expected, but 100% what was advertised. It's a jumping brain. I said, what's the point? What do you do with it? Silly me. He says, you do whatever you want. It could be paperweight. You keep it the color it is, or you could paint it. And now I'm sorry I slept on the jumping brain. I should have gotten that. But it's not too late for you, Carrie. It is too late for me. Unfortunately, the doctor here gave me a week. That was 6 days ago. Okay, come on. There are so many potential uses for the jumping brain. You could stick reminder notes on it. If you got one of those brains that jumps around like mine. Or you use it to focus your painting talents if you got a brain that jumps around like mine. I mean, do we think Pete still has one in stock? There's a non-zero chance. Because I know when I was working there were certain toys that had been on the shelf for years. I think he only ordered like 2 or 3 of them, and I think I sold somebody one. I think. Ooh, how do we like that? I like what the ink did here, too. Let's just get this, this borderline here. Come on. Okay. That's looking done to me, finally. All right. Hello, Green Jeans, my old friend. I've come to mess you up again. Okay. Oh, did we have green ink? Yes. Let's use this for our shadows on Green Jeans. I think this is transparent. Sap green, permanent. I don't know if it's transparent, but it's permanent. But I appreciate their transparency in the matter. All right, so to test out this green ink, I actually want to start on the teeth. Oh, look at that. Oh, gross, man. I love it. Yeah, I don't like the bright blue in the eye sockets. Those do need to be darker. But yeah, it looks like this green ichor coming out. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a gross boy. That is parental pride you hear in my voice. This is a gross boy. This is a wretched, disgusting boy. This is a garbage man's angel. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it badly. Some sort of riff on Young Frankenstein. Let's see if I just paint over that blue ink. What does that do? Yeah, let's try it. All right. Now, let's be really irresponsible. Not let that dry, because I still got plenty of this blue ink here. And see what happens if we mix it in. Here we go. Bravery test. Should get more on there. That's a lot. All right. All right, stop. You're making a mess. Gotta get the green back in there. There we go. There we go. All right. Let that sit. Getting too carried away. I'm going to do one more thing here on Dr. Valentine, and then I want to start working on some of these other pieces here. Come back in with that hydrangea pink. Hydrangea pink. Yeah. Which brain is my favorite? Oof. I did always like the old memory thread head. Oh, heck, one more crazy thing. Where is... I'm not going to clean the brush yet. Let's bring some fluorescent orange into the mix, huh? Sure. All right, here we go. Just at the end of the chin. Just to have another hint of some sort of gradient coming in. There we go. Okay. Get a little bit on the upper lip, huh? Yeah. There we go. Okay. All right, let it sit. Let it sit. Which is my favorite skull? You know, a father can't choose favorites. Not Troll Boy. All right, let's let those sit. And then we're going to start blocking in some base work on these two. So I know what I want to do with this. Oh, I apologize. We are going to have to start breaking out the hairdryer as we start getting into base colors here. No. Even better. Just since I got hydrangea pink here at hand. Not so much for this color, but for the matte, bright value. I'm going to start the base coat here, and we're going to dry brush a transparent purple onto this. But it would be too dark if I just layered that purple up. Oh, you know, and I found that cork with the sticky tack. And as soon as I started working here, you probably saw it. I knocked it right on the floor and it rolled away somewhere. That's all right. That's all right. Let's hold them by the hat where I'm not painting. right. Dry it out. Well, let's make sure that the hairdryer is plugged in first, huh? Let's see. Cool. All right, coat number 2. And I am going to be attempting kind of a funky lighting effect on this guy. So bear with me. It's going to look like some insano choices, but I have a plan. I really look like a guy with a plan. All right. I don't think I'm going to do a third coat of that. Okay. Now I'll rinse off my brush because we're going to go right back in to some purple. But first, rehydrate. All right. This guy. All right. So again, that hydrangea pink was just a base for this guy. Uh-oh, we're not fully dry there. We'll come back. Hang on. All right, there we go. That's looking nice and even. All right, blow dry this. Gargamel? This is not Gargamel. No, this is one of the podlings from Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal. Wearing a festive hat while his soul is getting sucked out through his eyes by said Dark Crystal. Like I said, festive. The circus peanuts make it festive. There we go. All right, that's looking pretty consistent. So we'll dry this off. I'll set that down while I clean the brush. Try to get that paint back in the bottle. Otherwise, that's how you get a nice big clog in your cap. Or a cap that won't secure because there's dried paint on the inside of the threads and then the paint dries out. This is another one of those bottles that's probably as old as me. I think I got it from Leonardo. Maybe it is Gargamel. Why don't you go check out some serious Wikipedia page on it? Gargamel's even like kind of a guy, like a human being, right? He's a bad guy of the Smurfs. He's like a big guy, bald guy in like a black trench coat, I think. Big bushy eyebrows. Nothing like this Jim Henson puppet I'm painting, and you know it, Shane. All right. Let's see, colors that I want to use. But there's an order of operations to all of this. One more. Hot pink. Where is it? I use it every time I exhale. Hot pink. Yep, I love this color. It's a good standby. A loyal friend. The good guy from the Snorks. Is the Snorks even a real thing? I think it is. Gargamel's assassination was one of the main causes of World War I. Oh, they're also doing a legacy sequel to World War II. All right, doing our upside down lit from below trick here. And the direction is very important for what I have in mind for this little guy. This sad little dude. There's even a GIF reference of this scene as I was looking it up. You just see his face deflating as everything gets sucked out through his eyes. There we go. You know, one sympathizes. This is from a set of 3 from Army Painter. And it's like the essential dry brush. I've already gone through, this is my second set, because I've worn down the first set to nubs. But these are very good. Easily available at a gaming or hobby shop. Yeah, you want this kind of a powder puff for dry brushing. Do another pass of this hot pink. Then we're going to get neon with it. There we go. See, well, Carrie, I think these are eyeshadow brushes just marketed to the modeling crowd. the model building crowd. I guess all brushes like this are marketed to the modeling crowd. Okay, layering up from there. That color shift is going to come into play. I'm not sure when. But that hot pink dry brush was kind of a base for the neon pink dry brush, because that's too transparent to have its own layer like that. So I wanted to bring the value up a little bit. There we go. Look at that. No way that we're an hour in. Oh, we are. Wow. Let's get some more sound effects for you good people. Shane, you've twisted such a tangled web of in-jokes at this point that I don't know how to respond in this or any language. All right. Okay. I do think we're going to come back with another layer of this down the road. Now I'll get some of that pink flash color shift in here. Just see what that does. Again, this shouldn't be too opaque of a paint to ruin what we've done here, but maybe if yes. We'll work opposite and dry brush down. Yeah, see how that's just bringing out some more of the details in the darker spaces. So let me get some of that, some of that, some of that, some of that. All right. Okay. I'm going to let that sit for a while, but I know what my next steps are. But I'd rather clean off this brush, give it a break, and start blocking in some base work on this other magnet. Okay. Where did that water bottle go? My Resident Evil themed first aid spray water bottle. Do the snorks live under the water? You're not going to bother me by getting the snork lore wrong, because I don't have it. That information has not ever been available to me. I think I first became aware of the snorks in a Family Guy bit. So nice try, Sheehy. What do we want to do for this one? This is a toughie. Yeah, how about some mulberry? Under the snorks. Under the snorks. Is that the song, Shane? Something about the whatever these fingers are also reminds me of the look of the shrimp cocktail hands from Beetlejuice during the Deo scene. All right, now I need that cork, man. Stand by. Something fell and rolled away. Aha! Got it. Get that cork out there. All right, see? This is what corks were made for. This is what corks were made for. You're just saying that because you're heir to the cork fortune. Look, Shane, I'm sorry I made a joke about World War I, okay? But you don't got to bring Red Dead 2 into it. Cork fortune. Cork fortune equals snork misfortune. Oh, man. Put it on my headstone. Now. All right. Yeah, leave that out. Let's dry this off really quick. Just going in for a second coat here. Snork misfortune. It's good stuff. Snork misfortune is good stuff. Eat the snorks. That's what I say. New York City, USA. Two snorks for Gargamel. Okay, now what? Where's that? Is this my raw sienna? Raw sienna! Go. Okay, so I'm definitely going to have to find sound effects rules that don't make it sound like there are other people down here because it keeps freaking me out. And I had to hide the QuickTime player because the video that they use just has the silhouette of the Frankenstein monster walking back and forth. So I keep seeing this shadowy figure in my periphery. And all this is to say, I did this to myself. All right. There, you got me whistling Snork City, Shane. Thank you. That'll be in my head for the rest of the evening. Such a seasonal appropriate song, too. Thank you, Shane. Snork, it's the meat of kings. All right. I really am just completely improvising with this piece because it's not a traditional face. I don't have my usual order of operations here. And again, I'm getting experimental with the color palette. So let's go to our up from below trick using my smallest dry brush so that I don't get any on the raw sienna piece that I was just working on. Yeah, so a year later, Shane, you will forget this has ever happened, and I will quote it verbatim to you and make you laugh and ask what that's from. There seems to be a bit of a design overlap between the Snorks, as I'm picturing them, and Quisp. Any connection there? We could do something with that. Trying to use a lighter dry brush up top here and layering in the heavier dry brush. Again, just for a false lighting effect, because that's what I'm practicing these days. There we go. Yeah, I like that. There we go. Snork's misfortune does equal Quisp's distortion. Aptly surmised. Whew. All right. I think it's time to get color shifty. But with what? There's that green color shift. That'll be nice. But where's the blue? Purple flash. Ah, this is the one. Blue-violet flash. Let's see. All right. Let me just refresh my paper towel supply really quick. I don't want to get too small of a slice. Get mud pie everywhere. Right. Okay. Let's dry brush some blue-violet flash. Yes, that would be a good dissertation defense. I back this idea. Okay. There, I like what that's doing. It brings, even though it's called blue-violet flash, and I know I say this every time I use it, it brings more of a gold to it. Now, since I did that over on the green on mulberry, I want to see how it looks on just the mulberry. Just get a little bit in there. Maybe I'm pressing too hard on the piece. Switch it up. I'm going to get some of this green flash color shift. Oh, yeah. All right. We can get some on what appears to be some sort of egg. Oh, I'll work some in down here, but only on the lower half. Because that's how you get carried away, my boy. All right. Let's switch gears. Let that sit. But hey, I've sketched out a concept. Boy, that looks awful in the light, but we'll figure something out. Clean off this brush. Good. Where's the dry brush? Okay, so we've got our podling slave guy here, where we're dry brushing up from below for the lighting effect. Now for the more grounded gray beige color of his skin, I want to dry brush down. So I just need to locate those paints, which you know can take a while. Let's take some sticky tack off. That's part of our problem. Too much tack. Imagine that, me being too tacky. Oh, behave yourself. Okay, fine. Be that way. So we have there. Let's do this feather. Right, here we go. Fawn. This is what I was looking for. So again, not wiping too much off of the brush because we want this to be a heavy effect. And strictly going down, top down. Trying to protect my lighting effect here. Be very gentle if I can just get the highlights here and keep some of the pink glow in the crevices. I'll be a happy, happy boy. No, I won't. All right. Rolling right into, which one is this? English Country Rose. It's again kind of just a dusty pink. Just want to use this to bring out more of the skin color. Just going down, just going down, just going down. And you can see how we're kind of losing our neon pink here. We're going to bring it back. I mentioned that earlier, of doing another dry brush pass. A lot of back and forth in this game. Just like tennis. Gargamel is violently ill. Oh yeah, no hard feelings, buddy. I know you're getting snorky. Unless you're trying to sign off. If you need to get out of here, let me know. Whew. How far in here? Oh, an hour and 17 we've been streaming. Well, well, well. I think, let's take our cork off there. I'm going to get back into some ink. Oh, I've even got some ink available to me still in this palette. I'm going to try to, in fact, I'm going to go in with the old magnifier. Just want to thin out this blue runner of snot. Thin out the snot, my boy, thin out the snot. Okay, let him sit just want to bring some more of that magenta ink back into Dr. Valentine's lower half. There we go. That's looking good. Okay. Whew. All right. You know what? I'm going to start setting aside some things because this I consider done. The keychain. Our pumpkin beast baby boy. He's all done. Put him up there on the middle rack. Even pretty sure that this guy's done. Oh, you could use another ink pass. Why not? But first, let's go back into our neon. Neon pink. I should specify because I use a lot of neon. And start bringing some of this back in. There we go. Right. Hope to see you again soon. All right. Happy New Year, Shane and Carrie. A better year ahead. Can't wait to see the new baby girl coming soon. Everyone be well. And I'll probably wrap up soon. We're coming up on an hour and a half. Whew. Oh, my goodness me. Definitely getting the back cramps from hunching over this workbench. I do want to I still see some blue sticking through inside these eyes. There we go. All right. Something. Gotta figure out something with this. I got. No, not that one. Go with kind of a peach color here. I'll go with a dry brush. Can't have a wet dry brush now, can ye? Okay. Tell you what, why don't we I'm gonna need some time to think what I want to do with this guy. Why don't we... Where's the red ink? I'll get a little of the red ink into Dr. Valentine here. And I like with a funky color palette like this, it doesn't even register as blood or anything. It's more of a, it's reading as more of a light source. There we go. That's looking very close to done, I think. Now going back in with my transparent burnt umber. Just want to give this guy another little pass. Yeah. Mm-mm. Okay, we got something there that doesn't belong. Let's go back to our bright yellow. Yeah, look at that. Still want to fix whatever that little stray piece of paint is, but glad I came back in here to smooth out this yellow dry brush. Get that out of there. right. That's going to need some retouching in the morning. Still want to kind of finalize a look on this guy. I say in the morning. I don't know if I'm live streaming tomorrow, but the next time I hop in here, just to know what my assignments are. Will lay in the base of his eye color. Here we go. All right, so let me just switch cameras here. Yeah, so as we wrap up here, just because I'm getting real warm, it is the boiler room after all. I know a lot of people are eager to see this year over, and I count myself among them. And, I got plenty of dread for what the forces of darkness will bring the new year, but I'm also excited to see how the forces of light are going to hit back. So I'd like to thank you for tuning in and watch me paint these cozy little creepy monsters. It's nice to be able to share this very isolating hobby with millions and millions and millions of like half a dozen people in the chat. Expect more from this channel in the new year. It's nice to have gotten this off to a good start. I had been publishing a lot of my older stuff from the archive that had just been languishing on my Vimeo page. So those are the more polished, edited pieces. But this live streaming angle is a completely new thing for me. So I'm glad that I've just been getting into the swing of it. And then enough of you are showing up pretty regularly. Just means the world to me. So I hope you all have a fun and safe evening and a happy new year ahead of you. And we hope for some good surprises. All right. Be well, everybody. Mellow greetings and happy new year. Bye.